CPS Boxing News over here with Coach Lenny, one of the coaches from New York City, and eventually he's one of the in charge right now, Richard Hitchins. Coach, tell us about the event. It's gonna be today. It's gonna be awesome, fireworks. I mean, I saw the press conference how these two fighters that were each another attacking in comments like a sparring session. Tell us about how you see this this fight that is gonna happen today.
Well, the way I see the fight, that Richard Hitchins is gonna eventually, as time goes on, pick this guy apart. Bauza. I mean, they've been in the ring before. They sparred before. I don't recall anywhere ever, like in the sparring matches, where I ever saw Bauza having Richard Hitchins in trouble. They say that sparring is different from fighting.
A real fight, yes, correct.
It's true in one sense, and in the other sense, the fighters are kind of familiar with each other's abilities.
Yes, correct.
And they're comfortable. So I believe that the same way to the sparring sessions kind of turned out, is going to be like kind of the same in terms of comfortability and so forth and so on. But I don't think Bauza, I mean, he has a chance, but then he don't have a chance. I mean, Richard Hitchins, he's just been in there with some great fighters. I mean, he's sparred with the best. He came up with the best. And throughout our tenure and throughout me training him, I've seen him get in there with some good fighters that could not do anything with him. And I believe that these fighters that he sparred with in the past, a lot of champions, I don't think Bauza saw that. So I mean, it's going to be an exciting fight. I'm sure they're going to give the fans what they're looking for, and undoubtedly, we're coming out the victor.
It's awesome to hear when it comes from you, because you are one of the witnesses, and of course, a coach right by his side and everything. And I agree with your words. Sometimes it could be a sense when people says sparring is not the same thing as a fight, but when you talk about abilities and everything, they already displaying what they're gonna do. So when the real fight comes, I'm not saying that it's gonna be the same outcome, but they already know that each other, and I would say
right.
This: whoever makes the first mistake, that's gonna pay. Right. So this fight, do you think that will go to the distance, or Richard is able to stop John Bauza?
There's no question in my mind that Richard Hitchins is able to stop him. A lot of people think that he don't have power, but he do have power. I mean, I've held the pads with him. Even when he first started his pro career, the fighter Trayshawn Wiggins, he busted his whole eye. He had to get 5 stitches in his eye. So that's a man that has power, And in boxing, when you pep a guy up enough with a lot of speed, it creates swelling. So if you keep on pepping this guy's face up and Bauza's there to get hit, if it goes the distance, he's gonna get cut up, and if it don't go the distance, he's gonna go to sleep. He's gonna meet Florina. So
all the fight fans, we expect fireworks, and with these two fighters that eventually they're moving up, more competitors are in front of them, and I bet you that both of them, they're gonna do their best in order to win. So that's why we have to stay tuned. Check tonight. I would say if they cannot come to the garden, to the arena, Hulu Theater, let's say download the zone and of course subscribe and everything. So definitely support the movement, the whole thing. When it comes to support the movement, let's jump into women's boxing. What do you think about this era? I've been asking everybody, because I know in the past women's boxing, it wasn't the same as today. What do you think of now, seeing women's boxing, they perform main card events?
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing for women's boxing. But yeah, it's a good thing for women's boxing. You have a lot of good women fighters that's out there, as you're going to see tonight. Shagay, I believe is her name. Serrano. And I've been knowing her for a long time, and she's been doing a lot in boxing. So yeah, it's going to be a great night of boxing for female boxers, for sure.
Sure, and I'm pretty sure, you know, women's boxing is going to be super exciting, because when it comes to them, I always tell, you know, and I ask this question, they always tell me, there is no study round. They don't study, they don't jump in the first round and they're going to say, let's study first. No, once they ring bells, they start, because there's like 2 rounds something, 2 minutes, I mean, excuse me, 2 minutes something, you know, the round lasts. Sure, right. So they don't have time. That's what most likely every boxer, every female boxer tells me. You don't get to study right there, your opponent. Once you hear the ring bell, it's war right there.
It's like girl fight.
Exactly, that's how, you know, it's always great and exciting to see women's boxing. And when you talk about performing, and I know you've been in the corner of Antonio, how do you see, you know, this young athlete that eventually, I had, you know, the pleasure to interview him, and he told me he already sparred, he was sparring already pro, you know, fighters and everything. So I feel like a couple more years or maybe months it would take to turn pro and of course, you know, develop more, because I know he's younger, hungry, focused, and one thing, you know, he has won tournaments over here in the US championships, and of course, you know, you already got, you know, something, a gift from him.
Oh,
so
sure, for sure.
Tell me about how, you know, his skills and everything.
Well, he's developing into, he's developing a great deal. He's a hard worker. He wants it. He likes this boxing thing. You know, he's seeing what it's like, and I think in the future he's going to be a force to reckon with in the boxing world. You know,
it's awesome to hear. You know, because I know. When I interview him, he says that, you know, his family and everybody supports him. So, because I ask this type of question, because sometimes could be mom or dad, sometimes they are against, you know, the person who is involved in boxing, because they don't want to see, you know, nothing happen to his son or her son. But in this case, you know, both parents, they support, you know, his brother as well, family and everybody. So I told him, you know, it's a great thing to hear that, because eventually you have a whole movement, skills, young and hungry. So definitely, you know, with the right path, and of course, you know, yourself as coach, you know, I think, you know, he's going in the right path. So wishing nothing for him for the best, for sure. Of course, as well. A message before we wrap it up this interview, and of course we're gonna stay tuned, you know, checking your IG and things that comes out. What message would you like to add to this interview?
Everybody that's a fight fan, that's a boxing fan, tune in tonight on the Zone to see Hitchins versus John Bauza. It's going to be a great fight, or Bauza. It's going to be a great fight. It's something that you don't want to miss. I'm Coach Lenny. You can reach me at Coach Lenny _100 rounds on IG account.
Definitely, we're gonna stay tuned, you know, checking your account, and of course, you know, all these fighters that eventually you have under your management and training, and of course, you know, I wish nothing but the best for all of you. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate for the time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.